Hey everybody, I have a very special guest today. Just to kick this off before I introduce who's with us, and you know because you saw in the show notes who's with us. I had a conversation with Matt, and Matt, it must have been like maybe March or April of this year. And I said, oh, I really should have you back on the show to talk about what you're up to because it's interesting and so needed. And when he was telling me about what he's up to, I said, oh, I need that. And so I've got Matt Carlson, who's with us today. He's the founder of parentpresence.com. He's a startup guy. He's doing all sorts of entrepreneurial magic in the world. And you're going to get to know a lot more about him, what he's up to. And Matt, welcome on this Monday of Thanksgiving week, which is so apropos to what we're going to be talking about today.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, is there anything that you care about that happens the week of Thanksgiving? I'm just curious if there's any sort of events that happen the week of Thanksgiving.
I mean, Thanksgiving is massive with a Black Friday and Cyber Monday coming up. Those are huge days.
Yeah.
Last year I was at the Thanksgiving Day parade. I went with a big parent presence sign and I was trying to get on TV. And I think I might be doing that again this year. I'm not 100% sure, but
so I'm hearing you're not yet. You don't have your own float yet. You're not on a float. You're not singing. You're not doing any Broadway stuff quite yet, but soon.
No,
all right.
Unfortunately.
Well, Matt, we're gonna talk about what you're up to here in a little bit, but let's get to know you a little bit first. So, Matt, what's something that you nerd out about you want to share with us? And I'm going to take business off the table, business and presence, something else.
Oh, that I nerd out about. So, in the past, it was golf. I'm a massive golfer. So I played golf at Providence College. I was president of the club golf team. I played in a ton of like amateur tournaments in the New Jersey Met area. Right now, I'm super into pickleball. So I live in
like everybody in New Jersey, of course. Yes.
Yeah, like everyone in New Jersey. So I live
everybody in New Jersey.
I live in Hoboken, New Jersey, and I live right by the pickleball courts. And I play a ton. I've been playing in some tournaments recently. I'm actually playing in one on Black Friday with my girlfriend. And she's a tremendous pickleball player. So yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, pickleball is for those who are listening who maybe don't. I think everybody's familiar with it now, but like we have a place at the Jersey Shore. It's massive in New Jersey now. And I think it's getting massive in New York. It's so fun. The one thing I would say about pickleball is if you live near a court, it's not a quiet sport.
No, it's not. It's loud. The ball's loud. Yeah.
The ball's loud and you can fit so many different games onto one. Like a tennis court, yeah, you're going to hear the ball, but it's only like a couple people per. Like if you have a whole row of tennis courts, but how many pickleball courts fit onto one tennis court? Is it 2 or 3? I can't remember.
I think it's 2 or 3.
Yeah, but it's also faster. Like the balls are getting hit back, so you hear this clunk, 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 clunk all the time.
Yeah, there's less distance for it to travel.
Yeah. What do you think of the? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say the courts in Hoboken. I mean, it's such a great place to play. There's 6 courts. They're always mobbed. The competition is really good, and it's winner stays on the challenge courts. So nobody wants to lose. If you lose, you got to wait 30, 40 minutes. So the games are high intensity, which is awesome.
Yeah, I love that. And much easier to go and play a couple hours of pickleball and then go home than have to go out to the course. Like lug your clubs around 4.5, 5 hours, 6 hours at the course. Very cool. I'm gonna have to do a pickleball interview sometime. People are bringing it up a lot now as something to nerd out about. I'm gonna keep you on the list. That maybe we'll do a little group talk. Let's talk about your comfort zone, Matt. So let's start with something that is inside of your comfort zone, and for somebody else in your life or somebody else they're like, no, thank you, I'm not into that. What's something that comes up for you?
Oh, comfort zone. Interesting. That would probably be golf for me. PGA Tour.
So would you say, when you talk about comfort zone, let's take a look at something that is like something you're willing to do, you like doing, that other people, not that they don't want to do it, but they're actually uncomfortable to do it. I don't know anybody who's like, I'm uncomfortable with golf. I know a lot of people who don't like golf.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, probably networking. I've gotten really into networking over the last year or so, and I've really enjoyed it. I like meeting new people. I went to Affiliate Summit East this summer, just by myself in New York City. I was fortunate enough to get a pass through Parent Presence, and I had like the best time in the world. I scheduled just conversations with like all these people. I was going up to booths. I mean, I talked to hundreds of people, got hundreds of contacts, and just like really enjoyed meeting new people and having those conversations.
Yeah.
And I know networking's not for everyone, but
some
really
people. Well, I'm really glad you brought up networking, and I want to ask you about this. This is how you and I met. What's your thought process around networking? Like, what are you looking for? And when you go into a conversation with somebody you just met, whether it be something like Lunch Club, which is how me met, or you're at like a conference, what are you thinking? Because I think one of the challenges with networking is people relate to it as like a thing that has to happen or has to come out of it in the moment, which makes it uncomfortable. So yeah, talk to us about how you view it.
So when I started networking because I was learning about SEO and I wanted to rank parent presence high on Google, and I heard about backlinks and getting links from other resources, and people were saying really the best way to get backlinks is to network and build connections in the industry and get backlinks that way. And so that's why I started networking. And when I got into networking, I met this woman who connected me with this other woman, and she was like a super connector, and she connected me to like 50 people in like a week, and everyone was just like so nice in this like community of networkers and like wanted to help. And then I kind of just like really liked like that aspect of it, of like wanting to help other people, and then like helping people in return. So just meeting people and having conversations, and a lot of what I do for parent presence is just at my laptop by myself, so it's always nice to have other conversations with people throughout the day, and you just learn about people's stories and try to help out.
Yeah, as somebody, I've do a lot of networking, you do as well. I'm sure you've had lots of exchanges that were less than ideal. I've had some where I'm just like, this is so uncomfortable. This person could care less about me. And I'm curious, how do you address that? If you're in a conversation, they're quickly vetting out, oh, this guy, Matt, he can't help me or buy anything from me. How do you address that? And I actually had this conversation with Cassandra Thompson on the show about a month ago. She's like actually talks about networking as one of her speech topics, and she's an expert networker too. We traded some networking horror stories. So I'm curious, what do you do when you get into a conversation? You're like, oh my gosh, this is bad.
I kind of just buy into it. I'll just ask them about them, like try to keep them engaged. Try to make some fun out of it, or just like if it's really bad, I gotta run.
You're like, yep. Look at my internet just went out. Sorry. Yeah. Interesting.
For the most part, I'm gassing people up and like, trying to make fun out of it.
Yeah, exactly. At some point you're just like, all right, let's just have some fun with it. It's like going on a bad date. You're like, all right, let's just have fun.
Yeah.
So Matt, the other side of that coin, what's something that is outside of your comfort zone that other people are comfortable with? Something either you won't do or you're scared to do, and other people are like, that is something that I like doing or I'm comfortable doing.
Oh, all right. That's a tough question.
Mm-hmm. That's why I ask it.
I got to think on that one.
Good.
I mean,
if we need to get your girlfriend in here, I'd be happy to interview her. I'm sure she could probably give us a whole list.
There's a lot. I think I have a tough time being like tough or like mean, like especially. I mean, I work with a lot of freelancers and people that I worked with in the past, and wanting people to like me, but also at the same time running a business and needing to get the work done. I think I'm a little bit too like nice and lenient on these people that I work with at times, kind of being strict and balancing like trying to be their friend versus trying to be their boss, I guess, to say.
Yeah, I hear maybe a little people pleasing in there.
Yeah,
like don't ruffle feathers. Yeah. I hear you and I see you. That's on the same way. It's so much easier to be nicer than to have tough conversations.
Yeah, 100%.
And knowing, depending on the person on the other end of that tough conversation, they may not respond to it. And then if you want them to increase their output or maintain their optimization, that may demotivate them. So that, to me, that is such a fine balance, especially when you're working with freelancers, where you can't, I mean, you can fire them, but it's not like their whole paycheck isn't completely dependent on you generally. Like, that's an interesting one.
Like I need them just as much, if not more.
Yeah. So Matt, before we go to a really brief commercial break here, let's talk about speaking. And let's say that everybody on the planet is listening to this podcast, and you have 5 minutes, and you get to share with us in 5 minutes anything you want. Anything you want. What would you talk to us about? And what is your call to action? And if you want to teach me how to remove the slice from my swing, that is a very self-serving speech, but no. In other words, what's the most important thing to you that you'd want us all to know about and do differently or do more of the same of?
In the world? Man, that's a good question. It's tough. It's funny. I feel like I'm young, so not the wisest, but, kind of wise, and giving life advice is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think just being open to things, having fun, and not, letting other people kind of judge you and judge what you like and what you do. I think that's really important. Like, if you're passionate about something and you have fun with something, like, don't care what other people think, just do it and just enjoy it. And, you'll find your people.
That is such a good lesson. Have you learned that lesson yet?
I don't know if I have completely, but, I try to.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always on the side of, like, having fun, and, like, if you're passionate about something, and you're excited about something, like, just stick with it and do it. I'm super, this whole parent presence stuff that I've gotten into.
Yeah.
And, learning about, I've become really passionate about SEO and digital marketing. I'll try to talk to my friends about it. They could not give, they couldn't care at all,
Yeah.
And, I'm finding other people that are passionate about it. And it's like, but I'm not going to taper down my excitement just because you're not excited about it,
Yeah.
Like, you got to stay excited and passionate. And that's what makes life fun.
Yeah, Matt. Well, the reason I ask is, and we don't need to talk about how old you are, but definitely younger than me, is I didn't learn that until, I don't know exactly when it was, but it took me a while. Like, I call it to make peace with what you know to be true about yourself and be okay with, like you said. And for friends, a good example, like, if they're not in digital marketing or SEO, like, why would they care? Yeah, well, maybe they should care but maybe they should care because they're your friends. Yeah. So the reason I ask is, I think maybe that makes, you said I don't have a lot of wisdom, but I would say that's wise, because a lot of people I know in their 20s that I either coach or I look back at people I know spend most of their 20s looking at how to be liked and how to try and fit in. And then as people progress, and I'm speaking in real generalities, but this is kind of the work I do sometimes, as people progress and you learn more about yourself and you learn what you actually care about, who you actually are, and you reach that moment where you go, oh, like, that's actually okay. That's a very freeing moment. And I hit that moment maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So, and I just turned 46. So for me, it was in my early 40s. So if you're on the process of that, let's put it this way, Matt, it wasn't even something I was thinking about in my 20s.
Yeah.
Too busy operating. Not that it was wrong, but, like, I really want to acknowledge that. But we're going to go to a brief commercial break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about parent presence. So we're going to take a brief commercial break. We'll be right back after this.
The Talking to Cool People podcast is brought to you by Jason Frizzell Coaching. Jason works with amazing people who are looking to find and develop their passion and purpose and create their journey to wherever it is they want to go. Check us out at jasonfrizzell.com, Facebook, or on Instagram. Jason loves hearing from anyone who thinks it would be cool to connect, to be coached, or to be a guest on our show. Email him at podcast@jasonfrizzell.com or DM him on Facebook and Instagram. And now, back to some more amazing conversation on Talking to Cool People.
All right, Matt, we're back. And now let me give let me give the brief summary of our conversation, and I hope my memory serves me. We were talking, we met, we had a cool conversation over via Lunch Club, and you're telling me about your business, and I'm like, brilliant. I need that. And then you said, yeah, it's really meant for all ages can use it, but it's really meant for like the target demographic is people like millennials that don't know what to get their parents for the holidays, for Hanukkah, for Christmas, for Thanksgiving. So let's first talk about the genesis of this idea and why it hasn't been done before. And then let's talk about what it is. So Matt, when did you first come up with the idea for Parent Presence? Actually, let's lay out for the audience what Parent Presence is in a nutshell. We don't need the technical details, but like how is it useful for people? And then let's talk about how you came up with the idea.
Okay, awesome. So I say that parentpresence.com is a Gen Z centric gifting advisor and media outlet. So we help.
That's a mouthful. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, well, that's like the fancy definition.
Yeah.
But we help people find gifts for their parents. That's how it is, simply put. I like to think of it as a gift-spiration engine. So we haven't tested all the products, but we think these are good ideas for your parents based off what we know. We want people to come to us and to trust us to help them find gift ideas. We make our money through affiliate marketing. So if people actually buy something through the link, but in terms of a brand, if you come to our link, find something on our list and then go and buy it in store, like that's a win for us. We're a gift inspiration company. We want to help people find gift ideas.
And my next question is, why this business? Like, what was the genesis of this for you?
So, yeah, how it got started.
Wait, hold on. I'm going to guess. Did you give your mom and dad really awful gifts? They're like, this sucks, son. And then, no, I'm kidding.
Oh, I've always hated shopping.
It's worse. It's the worst. I hate it too.
Life, as a little kid, my mom would drive me to stores, and it was always just the worst thing ever. Christmas happened in December of 2021, and I remember just having a tough time finding a gift. And then January of 2021 at the job January 2022, the job that I'm still working right now, the company owns a bunch of over-the-counter healthcare products. Mm-hmm. One is a wart remover brand, and I was helping do some work on the website where they were putting in this quiz funnel where you would answer questions about your wart. Was it on my hand? Is it on my foot?
Yeah, we talked about it's a big consumer brand that you work for.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And so you answer questions about your wart, and it gives you the best product that they have for that particular wart. And I thought, man, this is awesome. This should be everything should have this. Why don't they have this for gifts? I would love this for gifts. I had a tough time finding a Christmas gift. So I went online and there's some out there, but nothing was really great. And then, I kept kind of looking into it, and I was like, all right, well, let's see if I could do this. And I went on GoDaddy and I started trying to find some domains in the gifting space. And I found this domain, parentpresence.com, and I was like, holy crap. This domain it's awesome. It's brandable. It's memorable. This is a home run domain. And then I bought it for $20, and in February of 2022, and almost 2 years later, still working hard at it.
Beautiful. Very cool. Now, let's see, what other questions do I have? So what is you mentioned that you hate shopping, Gen Z. What is the big challenge that you're looking to solve here? At the end of the day, what's the root challenge that people have that your service helps with?
Just helping people find gift ideas. Just being a trusted brand and a go-to place. I've always kind of said there isn't necessarily a great gifting, gift-spiration brand out there. If you need a dictionary, dictionary.com. If you need a movie review, Rotten Tomatoes. If you need a gift, it's Google, Amazon, Uncommon Goods maybe. So I was really trying to build out that brand so people had a go-to spot. And then the parent presence thing just kind of fell into my lap based on, the domain that I found.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I love it because it's niche, but it's also broad. I mean, like, so many people are looking for gifts for their parents. It speaks to so many people. And people often say to me, like, you're really narrowing yourself into the hole. Like, why don't you do gifts for sisters, gifts for brothers? It's like, well, first of all, I don't have that much time.
Yeah.
But then my other thing is, I really love the expertise aspect of it. If you broke your hand, would you rather go to a general doctor or a hand doctor? I'd rather go to a hand doctor. So when you need a gift for your parents, would you rather just go to like a general gifting site or one that's specifically focused on parent presence? So I love that marketing and branding aspect of it as well.
Well, I'd offer this to the problem or the benefit of all this is it feels really good to give somebody a gift that lands with them. Like, it actually lands. And yes, when you're giving, and I'm just going to use parents, your parents are going to love whatever gift you give them because of your parents, right? Like that. Yep. I'm a parent. This is part of the deal. But man, that is a wonderful human experience to send Matt a gift and have it know that it actually is something you'll use, you'll enjoy. It makes a difference. And the only thing I would say that is a more fulfilling experience for more people than give a gift that matters, give a unique gift that matters. Like something that's like, yes, I could send Matt like a club cover, like a branded club cover. Okay, we know you're a golfer. We know that's going to land. But what if I could come up with something like people love? I know I love that feeling and they're like, oh my gosh, this is so cool and so unique, and also is really perfect for me. Like that is such a unique thing. So what I hear this platform doing is, one, it saves time. Of course, it saves time. Two, it helps people fulfill an emotional need.
Yeah,
which is, as you know, as a marketer, is what we do in marketing. Is we're always looking to fill our emotional needs. That's great. So now let's talk about what's up for the holidays. This is why we're talking here the week of Thanksgiving. How many gifts do you have on the platform as of right now? Like if I was to go on and do some work, like how many different suggestions would there be?
So people find us a lot of different ways. There's hundreds of gift lists on our site. Gifts for dads that like video games, boating, puppets, the Baltimore Ravens.
Did you say puppets?
Yeah, there is.
Dads are like puppets. That's amazing. That's awesome.
We're it's an SEO game. So when people are typing in long search terms into Google, what do I get my dad who likes puppets? We're hoping that we pop up and that, people find our brand that way. And find our list. So in terms of gift lists, we have thousands of lists out there. The Ultimate Christmas Guide, which will be dropping on Black Friday, is the 50 gifts that we think are going to be the best gifts this season.
Nice.
We also have a list of the 43 best Christmas gifts for dad and the 45 best Christmas gifts for mom that just went out. And then our quiz funnel, which is new this year, we'll have about 200 gifts populated in it. So
that's a lot.
And you'll be able to get gift suggestions through that.
Nice. All right. Maybe there's a little self-serving, but I'm going to ask anyway. Gifts for mom and dads. Any favorites of note that you like? Anything you're really digging on for people? Like anything on those lists you're like, oh, that's super cool. I wouldn't have thought of that otherwise.
Yeah. So, well, I'll just kind of get into like what was popular last year. And
Let's
honing in on what I thought was going to be popular this year. Because last year was our first Christmas season. We didn't really know what to expect, but it's really cool we're a part of Amazon affiliates. You can see kind of what people buy through your links and through your platform. So in terms of like the category that was most popular, it was the kitchen category. And the number one item that was bought last year was a Mr. Coffee mug warmer. It sits on your desk and you can put your coffee on top of it and it keeps it warm. It's about
$15. That's really
bucks.
Smart.
Yeah, and a lot of people bought that. And then additionally, like the Ember temperature control mug was also really popular. That one was like $115. So
that's the one that like they sell at Best Buy, right? It's like a smart mug and it's like Bluetooth enabled. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
these little coffee like luxury items were extremely popular. And hey, I think they make a great gift. for
Yeah.
parents. It's a simple upgrade that, they'll use all the time. It's practical. Yeah. And then in terms of the next category that was most popular was the home category.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like also like little, I would say, small luxury upgrades. So a towel bucket warmer was incredibly popular. That we
Towel
had pretty
bucket
high
warmer.
up. Yeah, so you put it in your bathroom and it keeps your towels warm.
Yeah, but not a rack, like a bucket.
No, it's like a bucket. Yeah, a bucket
Oh,
that
that's
keeps
cool.
your towels warm.
I've seen a towel rack warmer all the time, but I've never heard of a bucket. That's really cool.
No, that was really popular, and I think that'll be popular again this year.
Yeah.
And then one that was really interesting was a heated blanket, and not because a heated blanket is interesting, but because we only had this one spot on our site last year. It was on Gifts for Mom, $25 to $50, and it was like number 15 on the list. And like most of our traffic was like the Ultimate Christmas Guide or like other lists, and like this was like kind of hidden, and yet it was like one of the most purchased items, which was like crazy. So this year we'll have that higher on our list, as we know people like it.
Yeah.
It's just like, keeps people cozy during the winter, a little upgrade.
Yeah. So Matt, one thing I really like about this is the best gifts in my opinion are like you keep saying little upgrade. It's just like the little upgrade. Like, what are you already doing? I'm already a coffee drinker. And I'm not a coffee drinker, but that's brilliant. I didn't realize there's a $15 thing that can keep a mug of coffee hot on your desk. Like, that's brilliant. Because who wants to drink cold coffee? Or, right, like, hey, you like blankets? Let me get you a heated blanket. Because we're here in the Northeast, it's going to be cold. Like, that's so cool. The little upgrades.
Yeah. And those make great gifts for parents.
Yeah. Well, I would argue, and this is going to be a little stereotypical, most of the women watching would go, I'd like a heated blanket. Like most, especially women that get cold easily, would like a heated blanket. I don't think that is not just a parenting thing.
No, it's true. Yeah. And then in terms of, another one that was popular, we had a digital tape measure on the list.
Ooh.
And
you're talking my language now.
Yeah. And we know, I always say, I actually got a quote from Go Banking Rates in a post about, Father's Day gifts that people always regret. And I said, cheap tools is something that people regret, and you should always kind of try to upgrade your dad's tools. That's a great thing to do. So, for example, the tape measure is great. If they have a regular tape measure, get them a digital tape measure. It still does the same functionality as regular tape measure, but it also has that digital aspect. Yeah. Another great thing is like a leaf blower. If your dad's still using a gas leaf blower, like an electric handheld rechargeable leaf blower, like that's something that they will use, for sure. Another thing that we're pushing this year is ergonomic shovels, like snow shovels, that are better for back pain. So there's a little bit of a curve in the top. So
yeah, we have one of those. It's great.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. So it's a little bit better than a traditional shovel. So those are like some small kind of upgrade type tools that make great gifts for dads.
Yeah, I love that too. I was reading I don't know if it's government mandated, but all the two-stroke engine stuff is actually going away. It's like it's like a two-stroke like leaf blower engine or a lawnmower engine is highly pollutive compared to a four-stroke engine. And all those little engines there. That's why when you go to Home Depot or Lowe's, you see a lot of high-end battery powered leaf vacuum now, because those are just bad for the environment. They're not efficient. They spend a lot of that. If anybody's listening and wants to send me a battery powered leaf blower vacuum, I'd be love to have one. I have a gas powered one still, and it works great. But it's loud and noisy, and it requires me to fill it and put oil in it, and it's annoying. Yes, and I will say, as a dad, my kids are a little young for this conversation, but anybody out there, upgrading your dad's tools is always a good move if your dad likes tools. Like always. Like anytime I can get a new upgraded tool, that's awesome. Matt, very cool. So you've got coming up here, this is it for you, like Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Yep. You probably pay attention to this space. Are there any forecasts on how much money is going to be spent between Black Friday and Cyber Monday this year?
I'm sure there is. I have not seen it.
I will guess that if you could capture 0.0001% of it, you'd be a very happy man.
Yeah, I'd be happy.
Yeah, you're like any of it.
Really a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if you saw this. You probably saw that what Amazon's doing this Friday, which I thought was just brilliant. With Friday, they have, for the first time ever, it's a Friday NFL football game, and I said that's so smart because people can go, you know what?
Amazon.
I'm just going to have a couple beers, have some friends over, and do my shopping from the couch and shop on Amazon and watch football instead of going out and fighting through lines. It's just really brilliant. Really brilliant. Yeah. That's awesome, Matt. I'm going to go out and check out the site here because I need to get a couple presents for my parents. So it's very cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing the list. Like I have no idea what to get them. Like I never do. So the idea of this is so perfect. Let's get to know you a little bit more, and let's talk about why this matters to you. Like this is a lot of work, would be my guess. A lot of work. You've got the infrastructure, you've got to curate, you've got list. What is it about this space that excites you? In other words, why? Of all the thousands of things you could be doing with your time and side hustling to full time on, why this? Why this space?
Yeah, well, for one, I like the family aspect of it, and the wholesomeness of the brand. I mean, it's a feel good brand. It kind of resonates well with me and my values. I also just get really excited about the potential of it. I want to be. I'm an entrepreneur. I have other business ideas that I want to start and want to build someday. I feel like this is a great way to kind of get off the ground, make some money, hopefully, ideally, can make a full-time income out of it soon, and then branch off and start, some of the other businesses that, I want to start.
Yeah. One of the things I would say about this too is when I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, I like this business because you're not holding inventory. You don't have a lot. It's not a large capital outlay. It's kind of a pay for itself over time business. And like you said, you get to learn a lot when you kick off this type of business. Then the skills you're learning now around SEO, digital marketing, things that you're learning about parentpresence.com, you can take in other businesses. And, people are like, oh, you shouldn't niche down. You can always take this thing and move it into something bigger. Like that's the thing. Yeah. You can always say, oh, parent presence, we kind of figured out the model. Now let's bring it to wife, like whatever your brand is. And I'm knowing a little bit about you. You probably have a long-term thought process around how this is all going to, how you're going to create world domination around the gift recommendation industry.
I own some other domains too. Grandparent presence, new parent presence, pet parent presence.
New parent presence is brilliant. Yeah.
So.
Very good. Very good. Well, Matt, let's talk a little bit more about you here to wrap up today. What's the thing in your life that you're most proud of?
Oof. This is I think, and I don't even know if this is true, but I think that I've helped 2 people from stop committing suicide. I think. It was an old boss that I had, and I reached out to him on Twitter when he was tweeting some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of de-escalated the situation. And then there was another night, outside of the bar where this kid was saying some crazy things, and I was able to de-escalate that situation and kind of show him some empathy too. So those were kind of 2 situations.
Wow.
That I'm proud of that people probably don't even really know about, but yeah, those are kind of things that sit well with me, I would say.
Yeah, Matt, I was as you were kind of working through that, I was like, I'm wondering what's coming, and then when you hit it, I'm like, damn. Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. I don't know, you don't know if it's true or not, or what was going to happen, but it was kind of just.
But the signs were there. But
time. I felt like I helped.
Yeah, regardless of what could have happened, you made an impact on somebody.
I like to think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So if these people happen to be listening, you might want to let Matt know. If you happen to know who you are, obviously not going to say names, but if you happen to hear this.
One of them, I haven't, I didn't even know the one guy. And then the other guy I haven't spoken to in years, so.
Yeah.
But
that's a really powerful answer to that question. Now let's take a look. I call this my therapy question. Are you ready, Matt?
all right.
You're like, lay back, grab some tissue. What are you afraid might be true about you?
Ooh. What am I afraid might be true about me? I don't know. People think I'm annoying, maybe.
People think you're annoying.
I don't know. Honestly, that's a tough question. I have to really think about that one.
Let's go with that. People might think you're annoying. It's likely that there's somebody in the world who thinks you're annoying because one of the other things, one of the big lessons is you're never going to be all things to all people.
Yeah.
And that 10% of the folks in the world are just not going to be our people, period. You're going to rub them the wrong way, whatever. So let's say, since you gave that answer, let's just go with that. And you have a, and by the way, this question doesn't mean that it is true. This is like a thing that like you might internally think about, right? Like, oh, I'm afraid people might think I'm annoying. So let's go with that. People might think you're annoying. What do you do to compensate for that? Like, how do you operate in the world that helps you address that and feel good about it? I think you've already answered this question, by the way.
I don't really do that much to address it. I kind of just am who I am. I feel like a lot of the time, if someone really thinks I'm annoying, I'll probably like shut off a little bit towards them. But I don't know.
I'll offer this up. It probably goes back to the not having the tougher conversations or being lenient.
Yeah.
Like, oh, just be a nice guy. Like, don't get too strong on people. Like, be likable. And I say all that because, I've this will be episode almost 200. Everybody's got an answer for this. I have answers for this too. And then which is like interesting to look like, so what do we do instead? Oh, be likable, or like, and I'll give you one of my answers. Sometimes I'm afraid I'm just lazy. So what do? I fill up my schedule with a whole bunch of stuff and work my butt off so that I can prove to myself and maybe everybody else externally that that's the thing. Matt, we're going to put a link to parent presence in the show notes. That's easy. Everybody, please check it out. Super cool. You can be assured I will be buying some gifts through the site. I haven't bought my parents anything yet, and I'm going to be seeing them tonight. They're flying in tonight from Minnesota. Yeah. So I'm hoping that all these gifts can arrive by Saturday, because that's where we're doing our Christmas after Thanksgiving. Is we're all going to be together. Yeah, we're doing it early because we're not going to be together at Christmas this year. Mm-hmm. Where else can people connect with you and find out more about you if they want to? Besides the parent presence?
Definitely give us a follow on Instagram.
IG,
like I said in the beginning, we're a gifting advisor and media outlet. So we put out a lot of content, especially around the holidays, on Instagram and TikTok. A lot of street interviews, funny trends. Like, we're trying to be a relatable, like, fun brand as well. So, a lot of street interviews are just like, what'd you get your mom for Christmas? Or, like, what do you like better, Christmas or Halloween? Or, it's just funny. Sing us a Christmas song. Like, it's funny, relatable content. We got a pretty good following on there, a little over 15,000. So, yeah, definitely give us a follow on Instagram.
Yeah, we'll throw that in the show notes as well. All right, Matt, last question I have for you. What was the most unique gift that people bought last year? The most, like, something you're like, wow, I didn't realize people would like that, and it ended up being something that people were interested in.
Okay, that's a good question. I mean, people buy, like, you could see what people buy, and people buy weird things. Like,
totally.
I mean, it's like anything from like a gun T-shirt to like a naked garden gnome to like it's crazy, in terms of unique, because most of the stuff that people bought was on our ultimate Christmas guide.
Yeah,
the heated blanket definitely threw me for a loop, like in terms of where we had it placed and how many people bought it for the placement. I think that was unique, but I would say just check out the list. There's tons of lists. So if you peruse parentpresence.com, you're sure to find some sort of gift idea.
Yeah.
Another gift actually that I think is going to be really popular this year, and we'll have it on our Ultimate Christmas Guide, and we have it on some other lists, is experience gifts That's like really big for millennials and Gen Z.
Yeah.
And there's a new startup company, Gift Story, where you can kind of find local experiences in your area and buy like gift cards for them or book those experiences.
Oh, great.
So I expect that to be extremely popular. You know, parents have a lot of what they need already, so to get them an experience and spend time with them is a lot of the people who street interview say that's the best gift.
Yeah. I mean, this is a trend in the wedding industry too, right? Like when you go, a lot of couples will have on their registry fund an experience on their honeymoon or something. Yeah. And so we actually lean more towards that. I like to give people experiences because that's the stuff you remember.
Yeah, that's kind of the way that gifting is heading a little bit.
Wonderful. Matt, have a great time at the Thanksgiving Day parade. It'll be on in our house. My daughter loves the parade. My daughter and son love the parade. Maybe we'll see your sign there. And best of luck with the business this weekend as we go into your busy time.
I really appreciate you having me on, Jason.
Yeah,
it's great talking to you.
Thanks so much, Matt. Take care.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Talking to Cool People with Jason Frizzell. If you enjoyed today's episode, please tell your friends. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and give us a shout out, or take a moment to leave a review on iTunes. If something from today's episode piqued your interest and you'd like to connect, email us at podcast@jasonfrizzell.com. We love hearing from our listeners because you're cool people too.